If you are tired of losing to Suicune and want a deck that can keep up, you should try this deck out. One strength of Suicune Ninja is obviously the card draw. Most electric decks don't have a card draw, except for Raikou. This coupled with the fact that you are building Magnezone in the back makes for a deadly combo. Raikou does only 60 damage plus 10 to the bench, which honestly is not a lot. But the 10 damage to the bench is wonderful because it allows you to pick off the opponent's bench for quicker wins. I've tested this deck with Ori, Luxray, but I think that this is one of the most comfortable options that makes sense. Pika with 150 damage isn't really meant for the Suicune matchup, even though it can be useful there. You usually get proper chip damage to finish off opponents, and you have Red, so that matchup's fine. It's more for decks like Guslord, Decidueye, who have about 170 health, or maybe some other clutch moments where you might have double elemental switch and need to deal 150 to 170 damage. Overall, I've been climbing with this deck as I think Suicune counters are quite annoying at times and they do get away with the win often enough. This deck is less played and people usually don't exactly know what you are going to do. Especially because I think most people play with the Ori instead of the 150 damage Pika. The one thing I've noticed for sure is that nobody prepares for Pika plus Red for 170 damage. Anyway, let's get into some games so I can show you the deck. Alright. So I think recently there's been a lot of obviously there's been a lot of Suicune decks and at the same time a lot of Darkrai decks. So I find that using Suicune against Darkrai isn't very good, but and I needed something that works against both decks, works well. So I decided, you know, to play Raikou, and I mean, I think I've been doing decent. So I think it's, when I say that, I think you still have to take note that, you know, the meta changes every single day for everybody. So, you know, if this deck doesn't work for you, just don't use it, right? Because there are days I do so well with this, I get like 100 plus points. Then the days I just like lose 50, even 100 points. And using Suicune, I don't know, might not have helped, especially because there are, you know, ups and downs, right, in terms of your card draws. So, you know, but overall it's a decent deck. You're gonna win quite a good amount of time. So against Suicune, we do decently well. I mean, we can still lose, obviously, but yeah, it's decent. Especially, so it's nice to have in this deck. It's nice to have the elemental cord, right? Because Suicune normally they don't run Guzma, so most of the time you're gonna get your electric through. And the bad part is if you have Pikachu, on the bench, there's a chance that it can get sniped, right? So it's one of those things. I don't exactly like the Pikachu EX against Suicune, but I think it's really solid against like Darktinas and a lot of other decks. So here I just prepare because I know this part over here is really I feel really comfortable putting down the Pikachu because I know that there's no way that they can force me to give it up. If they have Repel, I can give them Magneton, and yeah, if not, they can't pick it out because they don't have a Greninja anymore at that stage. Right, so this deck you generally always want to start with Raikou in the front. There are times that you don't want to put energy on the Raikou, but you just want to use it as a draw engine, right? Yeah, there will be times, I'll point it out, especially like against Guslord, right? Or if you're out of turn and you had to retreat manually and things like that, yeah, there'll be those times. So it looks like a Flareon deck. Yeah, but this is so nice because we do have X speed and elemental switch. So we're kind of looking for Magneton here, and we do get it. So what we do is we just retreat, and at this point you're already come in a comfortable spot because the EV has in the active has the energy, which we are going to take out. So I mean, more or less, if you're the opponent, it would be pretty much GG from here. Because they can't attack me. I mean, if it's Flareon EX, they can't attack me this turn. So, maybe, yeah, they could attack me the next turn if they get into Flareon. Okay, so at this point, we are looking to red card them. The second Magby might... So my plan here was the second Magby is probably bad for him. I mean, if people do not... Okay, the good thing about Raikou as well, not many people know how the deck works. Well, and there are quite a few variations, right? But for Suicune Ninja, I mean, I think everybody is very familiar with it by now, because they play with it so much. But for Raikou Ninja, for Raikou Zone, I think, it's still relatively fresh. Not many people are using it, so not many people are good against it. They don't know the nuances in the game. So yeah, I mean, it would have been GG here because our Pikachu was online as well, so we'll just come out and attack for the next turn. Okay, Dark Tinas, we do decently well against Dark Tinas. Again, the reason I chose this deck is because I just kept facing so many Dark Tinas with my Suicune, and I was losing most of the matches. I don't think it's a good matchup for Suicune. Yeah, but this is decent against both Suicune and Greninja. Suicune and Darkrai and Darktina. Again, I think when I say good, just to be, I know I've said this a few times, but when I say good, I mean that, you have a chance to win. It's not like straight up like GG and stuff, and it's gonna rely on your cards and their cards and all that stuff, but you have a chance to win, a decent chance to win at least. So it sucks here because generally we would like to get a Magneton there with Elemental Switch, but we don't get it this game, which not great, but not the worst really. So now we still need Magneton. The hope would be to get the hope is to get Magneton. Actually no, we don't need Magneton here. We can just take the Elemental Switch from the bench, but it would be nice to have Magneton though. Okay, I think I decided that it's to just take the safe route, right? Which is just to go pump the Pikachu EX on the bench, because I think that moving the Elemental Switch, like Raikou wouldn't die in the active, but I think it puts us in a very iffy spot. So I'm just like, what, forget it. I'm just using Raikou as a draw engine here. It was a bit too late, I think, especially after the repel, to do much. Here we mask because the opponent has too many cards in hand, and also actually honestly we just need to clear our hand. We don't have anything of value per se, but we do want to draw into that Magneton. Okay, thankfully we do get it, because if they do have a follow-up from here, yeah, it would suck. Wait, did I win this? Actually, I think I might have lost this game. Oh, I think I might have barely won this. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure anymore. So we'll just go with it. I just decided to take this Raikou out because, this Darkrai out because at least I don't get attacked the next turn. They could still Cyrus me, but at least that burns a Cyrus from them. I didn't want them to get the... Generally, I don't like giving Darkrai's, the poke from the energy. Yeah, that's kind of inconsequential for us, because by the time that Raikou dies, we up... yeah, but either way, I think that's fine. There was like, I was more concerned with like, I don't know, but yeah, but that's fine. Okay, I won this, and I remember I won this game. So, I decided to not let this Pikachu die because I think it would still be a good threat to have. So I was, yeah, I was a bit stuck here for a while. So I decided to give up the Raikou, right? And if anything, I force out a Cyrus from them. In general, most Darkrai decks play one Cyrus and maybe two Sabrinas. That's the thing. But yeah, so I mean, given my options there, that's what I decided to do. Why did I do that? Did I misplay this? I think I didn't see this line, so basically just get into the Magnezone, and I think this is my best bet. I'm not sure what I was hoping for there, honestly. Yeah, but I couldn't attack because I needed 2 elemental switches, which I'm not sure if I used. No, I definitely did not. I definitely used one. So I'm not sure why I put the Pikachu up there previous turn. I should have just came out with the Magneton, but thankfully I found it. I remember finding it later on, so you know. I would say this is the second worst start you could get. Yeah, you just want to start with Raikou, but you don't get your way all the time. Alright, and maybe no, this is an alright start. You don't the worst to start with, I think, is Pikachu EX. Okay, so I love the red card here, because it means that for the rest of my game, this deck generally runs 1 red card and that's about it. For the rest of my game, I should be fine. This is not to say I know some Suicune decks play a red card and a mask, so I mean, there's not much you can do about it, right? But just know that that's possible. But generally, I don't mind this red card here. It's essentially an Iono, and yeah. So it sucks that they got into Greninja so early, which normally kind of means it might be GG for us. But we do have outs, so it's not the worst. Okay, so this was great for us, actually. This was so good for us because now all I need is an elemental switch and I can Red to take out the Suicune. And there we go, we get the elemental switch. And I mean, I would have liked the Magneton, but I think one step at a time, and I know they can't attack me the next turn. So here I was trying, I spent some time because I'm not sure what to hit in this spot. I decided to go for the Greninja because I think at the end of the day, wait, I think I go for the Greninja, right? Yeah, because at the end of the day, if they have Irida, which I mean this deck runs Irida, I'm sure, then they can't heal this Greninja for now. I mean, on hindsight, I think the better move is just to have gone for the Froakie direct. Like because I think that the likelihood of them evolving that Froakie would take some time. I mean, obviously, if they get into the second Greninja, then you know there's nothing we could have done anyway. But yeah. But here what I did is I hit the other Froakie because I know that they won't. I mean, they could put the energy on the Greninja and heal it, but I think that kind of screws their whole game plan up really badly. Okay, so here I was deciding between Pikachu EX and Raikou, and I decided to go for Raikou because I need something to attack, be able to take out the second Froakie, yeah. And again, I'm still in the hopes that they don't get into, you know, second Greninja. It's not that easy to get into second Greninja. And here they they take me out, right? But I have Cyrus, so I just need to pull out the Froakie in the back. And it's GG. And so yeah, the red card comes in handy at the start because now I feel quite safe that I don't have a red card to worry about. Unlikely that there's a Mars. Very few people run the red card Mars deck. Very few, but you know, it's again, it's possible. So yeah, it's GG here. Okay, we start with Raikou. It looks like a Dark Tina matchup. Okay, no, it looks like Gasslot matchup. So okay, against Gasslot, yeah, opponent's not there, but okay, because I'm going first, I'm kind of comfortable putting the energy on Raikou, and also because I have Magneton in hand, it gives me a bit more comfort in that if I need to attack again, I have I can just wait for elemental switch. So yeah, opponent goes for double potion, which is not bad for us really. I mean, it's okay. We get rid of, you know, his heals. Here we lose an energy. Okay, so an energy is fine. We just you know, we can still attack one more time actually after this if we need to, but most likely okay, part of my game plan also has to depend on, do I think the deck runs Guzma, right? Because if they run Guzma, I'm kind of screwed. Here I think I'm still not in like at threat. I'm not gonna get taken out the next turn. So I decided to still take this hit on the Gasslot. So opponent wills again and takes out both my energies. Okay, so kind of in a sticky spot. I'm definitely not loading onto the active to attack for the next thing because the likelihood is that the active is going down. But I decided to, yeah, I mean, I just need a Magnezone and win the game. In my head, I was actually looking at how do I get the Pikachu EX to kick in, but yeah, thankfully he was at 90 health, and we could just take him out with Magnezone. So I think for the Raikou Magnezone decks, you kind of have to be very aware, and you know, your goal is to build Magnezone on the bench and then kind of start attacking with it. So sometimes you do want to know when to retreat your Raikou, because yeah, if you can retreat Raikou, you get more damage firstly, and secondly, you know, you get a chance to survive longer. But I think getting more damage is better to deal 110 damage instead of 60. But of course, if you need to poke at the back like this, poke the back bench, then you know the 10 damage is, you know, definitely useful. So yeah, the opponent's pretty, you know, I guess pretty smart. So yeah, here we can't, we kind of have to take the poison damage. At this point, I think we start building the Pikachu up. I'm hoping to get Cape, the Electrical Cord here. The bad part is that most Dark Tina decks do play Guzma, so just do take note of that, that if, you know, kind of plan your game around them having the Guzma, but you know, obviously, yeah, you just have to kind of plan around it and not just go all in unless you have no choice, right? And that's the only choice you have, or the best odds, you know, you could have. Then just, yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. So here we definitely Cyrus Cyrus the back, because we can just take out Darkrai with our Pikachu EX. So here we're kind of forcing him to have a potion plus a cape to be alive against. Yeah, he didn't even see me see my Cyrus, and he gave up. But yeah, I mean, we were quite comfortable there, really. Yeah, so again, for those, I do like to put my Magnezone out when I think, you know, when I am comfortable when I'm gonna make a major move. You don't want to get carded or masked. I think mask kind of hurts so much because, you know what I mean, you're gonna get down to 2 cards. Okay, here, generally against Decidueye decks, I do like to do an early mask or red card for like 2 cards. 4 cards I might not do it, to be fair, but sometimes if I'm feeling like I need to, I will use it when there's 4. At 3, I think that, you know, I don't believe in that doing it on 3 when my opponent has 3 cards. Okay, here we just kind of, I do think I put out the Raikou because yeah, this deck definitely runs a red card or mask, definitely. So doing this, we force them to evolve here or die, basically, and that's good for us because that means our bench it's kind of protected. It's not fully protected, right? Because if he had Decidueye non-EX here, there goes the Magnezone, but there's not much we could have really done about that. Yeah, they don't. The Decidueye normally does not run Guzma because if in general if you can attack the bench, you don't need, you know, Guzma is not that important. So I didn't. That energy there was more, if anything, for a retreat purposes, like for retreating in case they do get into non-EX version of Decidueye. I can retreat it and you know, continue attacking, for example. But I mean, they will still need a few turns to do that. So that energy did not really matter because, you know, what's this? Magnezone kind of supports itself, right, in general. Here is pretty much GG because the next time we can actually just come out with Pikachu and deal 170 damage. We can take even a full health Decidueye, so I was quite confident there. It would have been tricky if they had a basic, you know. I'm not sure what I would have done, to be honest. I guess they couldn't heal up past. He had a cape, so I mean he could possibly have healed up past, but yeah, anyway. Just play the game like what they give you, right? Okay, here we are quite comfortable. We have Magneton in hand with Magnezone as well. It wouldn't be too bad, honestly, if they, yeah, repel me, because I can just retreat here and I can just push the energy from Magneton onto Raikou. But that does mean we are, you know, we are slower on our Magnezone. Because we can't attack with Magnezone on the next turn, but at least now we do get the poke onto with a Froakie on the bench. So yeah, I think the opponent misplayed that cape because we deal 80 damage, short of him having an Irida, which I mean he can't because I think he used Oak. But I mean, so he corrected it by putting the energy on the Suicune, which was smart. I do like to spread out because my damage in general, because especially on a Suicune deck, they have to put both energies on the Suicune. If they don't heal here with, you know, I can take them out with... Okay, so they didn't heal. I can take them out with a Magnezone. So now I need Magnezone or I need Cyrus. Okay, so there's no Cyrus there. Yeah, we got quite a bad. That was quite a bad draw. Yeah, so again, I like to split my damage. So now he can't heal both Rockies for sure. Right, on the next turn. He can heal one. So at this point, I'm again still hoping for Cyrus or Magnezone. How many cards do I have? 9. Okay, so I mean it's not good odds at all. Although getting the Magnezone might be easier because I can Pokeball. Okay, I got Cyrus, so that's GG. I could Pokeball and then research to try to hope to get Magnezone. If I didn't get it, he didn't have a Greninja, I think, so it wouldn't have been, you know, a game. But you know, that deck draws so fast. He's probably on Greninja the next turn. Okay, I'm not sure if it's a good start. Okay, I do remember I get carded here, which sucks because I was so happy to see. I was like, okay, double Magnezone's pretty nice. Magneton is pretty nice, pretty comfortable. But yeah, yeah, it hurts. But I got carded here. Yeah, I think I misplayed this part. I think I should put the Magneton on the bench. Why? Because the next turn they poke me, and Magnezone will be at 100 health, right? So even though I deal 110 damage, I would be what do I put? How do I say this? I will be taken out, right, by the Darkrai. On his attacking turn, the next turn. So they retreat, which kind of like I was a bit like, okay, that sucks. I did misplay, to be fair, but I decided to just charge and just make sure my EX, my Pikachu EX is online, so that if he does decide to attack here, he will need at least a cape to feel comfortable, right? And now I'm in a more comfortable position where I mean, both ways, Magnezone was gonna go down, right? But now I have my Pikachu EX ready, and at least now I get 1 point, which is kind of huge because his only attackers are Darkrai EX, which is 2 points. So we just need to take one of them out, and it's GG essentially. So he desperately needs a cape on his end, but obviously we still win because we have Red. The Red in this deck really helps it so much. I think especially because the other interaction is when you use Raikou onto Suicune, and then they use Irida to heal. Okay, yeah, that's all the games. Let me stop it. Okay, yeah. So one of the interactions is when you use Raikou to hit the Suicune and the Suicune heals up. They generally, so you deal 80 damage into 140, which means they have 60. When they heal, they go back to 100, right? Yeah, they go to 100. So Raikou does 80, right? And then because of the Red, I'm able to take out the Raikou, the Suicune in that position, which I think is so important. The other time it's really important is when you have a full health, like, you know, you take out something and then you have, with Magnezone example, you take out something with Magnezone and then they come in with a fresh 140 health Suicune. That's when your Magnezone, you know, your Magnezone only does 130 damage, so you're kind of like stuck at this like place where you have to hit, and then I mean, the likelihood is that they might have an Irida and stuff, and then, you know, they put their Suicune to the bench and all that, and then you can't kill it based on using a Raikou. But yeah, anyway, so I think the red, I wanted to put either red or Giovanni at some point, but I didn't know how to fit it in. So this deck I got off Twitter of a Jap person. I mean they do build quite solid decks. I think so here versus the normal Raikou deck is that you lose you have Electrical Cord instead of your Giantscape, right? And I think Giantscape, I don't know. Maybe the Giantscape is better, but I think if you're running, because you're running a Pikachu EX, the Electrical Cord kind of comes in handy. I mean, okay, so this is really, I feel this deck is very strictly good against, well, I mean, does well against Suicunes, because of the Electrical Cord. Against like Dark Tinas and stuff, I don't think the Electrical Cord, I mean, it's obviously better to have the Giantscape then, because you know, you can at least protect from a hit. It's also, sometimes I find Giantscape is, you know, might be false security anyway. But yeah, yeah, you should try this deck out, especially if you're facing a lot of like in between mixes of Dark Tina and Suicune. I think this you know, it's a good deck against both, right? And yeah, actually against, I think it's, I'm more comfortable with this deck against Dark Tinas than I think than Suicune, because I think Suicune depends so much on how fast they get into Greninja, and actually the next thing is whoever goes second, you know, has such a big advantage. But yeah, anyway, hope you have fun with the deck. Goodbye.